girl, Stephanie J. Sanders, and I am a relentless go-getter who wants to change the world one person at a time by providing education and resources to educators who want to be financially secure while doing what they love. You see, at age 24, my whole world was taken from me by someone else's perception. I couldn't afford heat, so I took cold showers. I couldn't afford a bed, so I slept on the floor. I worked every day of my good job, but my struggle was real. I worked 10 plus hours daily, putting all my time into my students, creating routines for shows, practicing for football games twice a week, driving 50 miles a day, until one day my past cost me everything. And that's when I realized that the value I added to that good job meant nothing to them, but everything to me. So I'm here to show you how to leverage your skills so you will never have to worry about outside forces taking what you worked so hard for. You are in control of your legacy, so be the person you never had with the knowledge that will change your life.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Meet the Author series. My name is Stephanie J. Sanders. I am the visionary of the To Teach and To Teach or Not to Teach Beyond the Classroom project, and I am interviewing my amazing co-authors. So if you are watching us live, please put a 1 in the chat. If you are watching us live, whether you are on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you are, if you are watching us live, put a 1. If you are watching the replay, please place a 2 in the chat for us. Also, your questions, comments, and concerns, make sure you put them in the chat down below. And once we are finished with this interview, we're going to go back and make sure that we answer them. So please show your love in the chat. So what is the To Teach or Not to Teach Beyond the Classroom book about? Well, the vision that I had for this book was to simply do 3 things. The first thing is to empower teachers with a tool belt of professional options. I want you guys to know your options, to know that you are more than just the 4 walls of the classroom. I also want to highlight our value. Guys, we are valuable as teachers. And if you don't know, we are the most valuable in my opinion. And also to provide advice to help explore professions within and beyond the education realm. So as educators, you have many talents. And through these authors, you're going to see that there are different things that you can do as an educator that doesn't consist of just the classroom. So enough of that. Now let's talk about our interviewee this evening. This young lady hails from Memphis, Tennessee. She is an educator with a passion for literacy instruction. She is an amazing person to be around, and she is also one of my sorors. Just couldn't let that slide, right? This is the amazing Miss Eve Brownie Slaughter. Yay!
Hey, I don't know what happened to our backdrop. Do I know how to fix it?
Settings.
That's right. Sorry. Hi. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And once
Thank you for having me.
There we go. Now we can start talking to the people. Let's let them know who you are and what is it that you do in education.
Okay. Hey, y'all. I am Evidane Brownlee Slaughter. You can call me Eve. That's my professional name that I gave myself, almost 20 years ago when I was a freshman in college. Currently, I serve as the principal of a neighborhood charter school located in Memphis. I also support the network with literacy instruction for K-2. So that's 3 schools that I'm working with in the network around literacy instruction as well as principal in my school. I also run the ESPN Academy, which is a local nonprofit in Memphis. This is our 24th year of existence. It was founded by my godparents. We provide free tutoring, academic support, family advocacy to students primarily in South Memphis, but not isolated to South Memphis. In the last 24 years, we've supported students in the Memphis Mid-South area, but we've also gone as far north as Ohio and as far south as Georgia. And so I'm really excited to be here with you tonight.
Thank you. Wow, that's a wide range right there. Very valuable that you bring to the table. Now, what are your thoughts on why teachers should actually go beyond the classroom?
Lots of reasons. So I think one of the biggest things that people like me, who I'm a mom, I'm a wife. My husband is very active in ministry. He's an elder in our church. And so I have lots of different things pulling on me, and I needed some flexibility. And the truth of the matter is, classroom teachers aren't flexible. They don't have flexibility in their day, in their schedule. A lot of people think that classroom teachers, when they get to work, that's when the work starts, and when they go home, they're done. That's not true. That is not true at all. I do a little dibbling and dabbling in teaching still, not a little bit. I actually am supporting fourth grade reading right now. And so, like, I have to lesson plan and I have to look at data. And there's a lot of pieces that I have to know in order to move my students. And I can't do that at work. Mm-hmm. And so if you need flexibility, if you have active children, if you have elderly parents, if you have an active husband, or even if you just want time to yourself, you are going to have to leverage like your skills to provide yourself with what you need. And let's just be honest. Teachers are some of the lowest paid professionals, and they're the most educated professionals in the nation right now. And it breaks my heart when I see articles in Ed Week or NEA Today that's saying like teachers have to leave work and go serve at Waffle House or go throw boxes at FedEx just to make ends meet. And if we leverage our skills and go beyond the classroom, there's a chance that we can get some of our time back and not have to break our minds and our bodies, right? And so when we think about just the type of lifestyle we want to live, go beyond the classroom.
And I like what you said about time, something we don't have. We hear about it. Now, time in a classroom is different than time as an administrator. Mm-hmm. Right? Our time is spread a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. As you already stated, we have to do lesson plans at the teacher level. We have to do all these things. So why should someone step up or level up to be a principal if they are only a teacher or only have a degree in teaching? Why would somebody want to be at that level? Besides just the time that it's going to give us, what skills would we have as a teacher to even do what you do?
Let's start with organization. Teachers have to be very organized, especially if you are teaching more than one class period or more than one subject, right? You have to be very organized. Another skill that teachers have that will help them if they are interested in leadership is the ability to be flexible. Teachers are some of the most flexible creatures I know, and I know a lot of teachers. I was raised in a family full of educators. And so anything could happen. You can have a nosebleed over here, you can have a fire outside, and you still got to make sure kids meet mastery on the standards. And so you have to be flexible and you have to know how to manage a lot of different tasks at the same time. And when you become a leader, that's literally the leadership journey. Is 50 fires, you're on a bicycle, and the phone is ringing off the hook, and you have to be able to do all of those things at the same time. And so teachers are some of the best leaders because one, they understand what it is to be in a classroom and what it means to feed a child that's hungry, or nurse a child that's sick, or call a parent who's irate and talk their parent down off the ledge. but they also know instruction. They know high quality instruction. They know what it's going to take to move a student from point A to point B in 180 days. Teachers know those things. So the knowledge that we have, the pedagogy and content knowledge that we have, helps us to be strong instructional leaders.
Well, thank you, because we don't hear that enough. We hear "bless you." That's what we hear. when they find out you're a teacher, they go, "Oh, bless your heart."
Bless your heart.
That's what we get. So I definitely appreciate that, especially coming from an administration point of view. So with that, you do so much. You're in the classroom doing lesson plans. You're also running the school. What made you decide to be a part of this book project, and what has your experience been so far?
Okay, let's talk about it, right? My friends and I, and this is like true story, all facts, y'all. My friends and I did a vision board brunch the day after New Year's Day. And during our it wasn't a normal vision board brunch that I had been to. And so my friend who was the curator of this project said, okay, girls, the first thing that, and she's a teacher. Okay, she's a teacher by trade. She's in leadership now too. So she said, okay, this is the first thing that we're going to do. She had a whole lesson plan. You're going to write down any habit that you want to leave in 2023 and take in 2020 and not take into 2024. But instead of just stopping there, you're going to write what you want to do in 2024. And so I wrote like, I want to stop putting ideas in my head and writing them on a little sticky note. And I actually want to carry out some ideas. So I wrote things like that. I want to have more faith than fear. And, I said I was ill. So I wrote all of this stuff down that looked real good and sounded real good on paper. Okay. Then we went to another activity. And I was like, I thought we were making a vision board, something. I would cut up the magazines. I had scoured my house for magazines. So she said, bring me. I thought we were just going to be cutting and gluing and eating and having a good time and laughing and talking and all of this stuff. No, child. By the end of we were at that lady's house till 6:00 at night. Her husband had come home from work. My husband had come home from work and was like, where you at? You still at this lady's house? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what happened. We crying and we laughing and we got all this work to do. And so the second part of the activity was like, what are things that you're going to do to meet I want to be this in 2024 person? And one of the things I wrote was like, write a book.
Oh, wow.
And so this is something I've toyed with in my head for a very long time. And I just didn't know what to write about. I didn't know how to get started. My aunt I have two aunts that are authors. Shout out Anna Brown Lee Lawson, Till Death Do Us Part, and Dr. Laura Ann Battle Bailey, who's written a couple books and edited some books for early childhood education. So I was like, I'm gonna be like my aunties. They're educators. I'm gonna write a book. And I just wrote it down, right? Like, oh, it sounds good. I'm gonna write a book. Not knowing that, and I tell people all the time, I don't know how I found this opportunity. I just saw it. And I was like, let me try it. And so I reached out. You said, comment me or following or something, and I reach out. Well, I so very seldomly check Messenger that I missed that you had reached out to me until like the day before the application was due. And I reached out and I was like, well, I would just reach out. It's too late anyway. It's just too late. It's too late. And you said, no, it's not too late. Let's hop on the call. I was like, okay, it's not too late. Hop on the call. Okay. You're not going to be able to do it, girl. You're not going to be able to do it. You don't have time. And so reached out. We had our call and you were like, yes, I want you to do this project. And I was like, you want me to do this? I didn't say anything to anybody. I'm just like, okay, this not gonna go far. So I did the link, I filled it out, and I remember it being like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning that I filled out the link. I was half asleep, couldn't see, didn't want to turn the light on because I didn't want to wake my husband up. I was like, we just gonna do the link and see. And I was like, well, Lord, whatever happens, it happens. I won't be upset. I can say I tried. And here we are. And so I am still amazed that one, I authored a chapter in the book. 2, that I had so much to say. And at first, I didn't tell very many people. I have what I call my boards of directors. A lot of different boards of directors. And I might tell this board of director one piece of something and another board of director another piece of something. And of course, the leader of the board of directors, he is the president of the board, of the financial board of directors is my husband. I was like, hey, if you say we can't afford for me to participate, you just tell the lady, never mind. He was like, no, you gonna do it. I was like, where we gonna get the money? How we gonna pay for it? He said, don't worry about it. I'm gonna figure it out. You gonna do this project. I was like, well, if he say I'm gonna do it, and these people over here like, no, you gonna write them 1,500 words, and this is when you gonna write it. And one of my friends was like, how many words you got today? And I was like, Tasha, I don't want to talk about it. I need a friend. Like, these are my friends, like, really backing me up. Because I said I wrote them. And my guy sister, Dr. Bridget Torrance Williams, I was like, Bridget, why I didn't call you before I decided to do this project? She was like, because all I was going to say was, yeah. Our oldest sister, Sadria. And I said, Sadria, how come I didn't tell you? She was like, baby, I ain't even worried. You finna write these words tomorrow. And I was like, let me call somebody else to get some sense. So I called our younger sister, Kristen. I said, Kristen. She said, if you calling about this book, get off the phone, go write your words. I don't want to hear nothing about it until you say I'm through. So when they heard again, I was like, okay, I'm finished. I'm done. I wrote the words. It's gone off to the people for approval. I don't know what's going to happen. They might say, the book, your chapter is terrible. We're not going to put it in the book. Then I got to thinking, ain't nobody going to buy my book. Ain't nobody go. I was like, and then when I started getting sales, I was like, oh my God, this is real. Okay, that's how I ended up. I don't even know if I answered your question, but I did that because I'm still in shock from this was January. And today is what, April 3rd? Yep. And I'm still in shock that I wrote a book.
I understand completely.
People bought it. People done bought the book.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you got sales.
I got sales.
I said,
like, okay, God. Okay, I hear you. I see you. I don't know, but I said I wanted to do it. And they say in Habakkuk, write the vision, make it plain.
Write the vision, make it plain.
Okay, so here we are. You had the vision and I said, reach out.
You were trying to talk yourself out of this. That's what it sounded like.
I was.
From the beginning to now.
I can't do this.
And I think a lot of people have similar feelings, similar sentiments. I can't do this. Who's going to buy it? What am I going to say? Right? But you stepped out there. Every time you try to step back, something pushed you. That was God. That was like, no, this is what you said you were going to do, and this is what I shall help you with. So I'm just grateful that everything pushed you this way. Everything pushed you this way. I'm grateful for that. And I'm also grateful that it is showing you how powerful you are as a person. Because to write a book is one thing, but to actually sell the book is another thing. People are reading your words. They are hearing what you're saying. And that is powerful. So you're probably going to feel this amazement for a while. I know I did. I'm still gleaning off the fact that I have 2. Okay. I'm still that still is kind of, this is my third one. So I understand completely, and just revel in it and just revel in your amazement. You know, sometimes we don't take time to look at how great we really are. And you are great. So just take a step back, look in the mirror and say, yep, I did that. You know? So with that, you know, you have this book, you have everything that you're doing in education. What are your future endeavors? What are you doing currently now that the book is written?
Lots of things. So I am continuing in my journey as the literacy lead for the network, supporting one thing that I'm adamant is about, particularly for Black and brown children, is that they can learn to read. And that's not just because my grandmother made sure I knew how to read before I even got to school. She was one of the first certified reading specialists of color in the city of Memphis in the 60s and 70s. But my son, when he was 2, was diagnosed as cognitively below average in every single category on the rating scale. We found out that the evaluators evaluate Black and brown children a little bit differently than they do children who are not Black and brown. And he was diagnosed with ADHD shortly after. A part of his ADHD diagnosis included being a little bit on the higher end of the spectrum. And because I was I was a teacher a long time before I became a mommy, I was able to identify very quickly, like, my child isn't developing according to what I know to be true for education, and he needs some services. And so I'll be continuing my work in my network as a literacy director, because I know for a fact, that children, no matter the diagnosis or not getting a diagnosis, can learn how to read.
Yep.
When the instruction is systematic, explicit, culturally relevant, meaningful, done every day by highly qualified people. I know it for a fact because my son is a 3rd grader. We got his already diagnostics. He is mid to end 3rd grade. And this kid, when he was 2, was diagnosed as cognitively below average, right? I'll be continuing to lead the nonprofit work that my godparents started. This in my book too. Or in my chapter where I talk about just how I even ended up in this seat that I'm in. So I'll be continuing to do that work. And one of the things that I am exploring, I'm putting this out here in the interweb space, is helping teachers and leaders leverage the data tools that they have to plan instruction so that they can move students. And this idea came to me. There's a 4th grade teacher in the classroom that I teach in, and I teach 4 blocks and intervention enrichment block. So I teach about 5 different sets of kids every day alongside my 4th grade reading teacher. One of the things that I'm walking her through is why I'm making the decisions that I'm making. How did I look at this data and decide that my kids are struggling with fables and folktales and fairy tales? And not just at the question level they're struggling, but they don't even understand how to read and chunk the text to make meaning. So how do I use the data that I have from whatever assessment is given to get them to make meaning from the text, and to do it in a way that is not demeaning to them or the teacher? So one of the projects that I'm working on and toying with is helping teachers, leaders, through a consultancy lens to use their data to do that. And what is literacy? The science of reading is really big, and it's a hot button word. It's a former principal that I follow on TikTok. She said, "Yeah, I was in a training, and somebody walked up to me and said, 'We're doing the science of reading.'" And she was like, "What are you talking about?" But making it applicable. I paid a lot of money to get a degree to become a literacy specialist, and I have that learning. But what about somebody who doesn't want to get any more education to do it? They still need to know the best practices in teaching reading. And so helping mostly charters, teachers, principals who have flexibility in their budget to make those things come to life for teachers in a meaningful, relevant, and fun way. Before I became a principal, I led PD for the largest district in the state of Tennessee. I led it, I wrote it alongside of a team of very, very smart people. And we made that learning relevant using the whole read and wrote. And so I want to do that some more. I enjoy that kind of work. I tell people all the time, I'm a teacher at heart. I'm a coach at heart. I love teaching. I love coaching. I love training. And I love doing work that is going to make meaningful impacts on Black and brown kids, and all kids. And all kids. I also have a 10-year-old. She learned how to read when she was 4, her and her best friend. And they told the staff at ESPN Academy, "You're going to teach us how to read." And they were in pre-K. And they learned how to read by the end of this school year. And they've been reading nonstop since then. My son, who has really struggled ultimately with reading, does not like reading, but he wants to be an author because of the cat boy dog man. I don't know the book. Facebook, y'all know the book I'm talking about. The graphic novel man, Dave, Pikney. That man inspired my baby to want to write, and he loves those books because he said, "Mommy, he's like me. He's like me." And so that's really powerful. And I do that work in my school. I've done that work in my school. I've done that work in my network, and I'll continue to do that work in my network. But I want to do that for other people too, and leverage my skills to make a little bit of coin.
Yes, absolutely. That's just amazing. You can hear your passion through what you're saying. That's why she's in the book, y'all. This is why. All right. She is awesome. But I cannot end this live without speaking about the amazing sorority that you are a part of. Would you please share with your audience the chapter and what amazing sorority this is?
Yes, honey. I am a member of the Sigma Gamma Rho International Sorority Incorporated, founded in 1922 at Butler University during the wake of the Ku Klux Klan movement by 7 educators. I am a legacy. My mom, my godmother, they're both mentioned in my book, and 3 of my great aunts are all members of this illustrious organization, alongside one of my mom's first cousins and another cousin, and through that cousin, another cousin. And because of my walk, I have actually brought in my husband's cousin, my cousin, who I've known my whole entire life through church, and she's very active. We're both in the Iota Lambda Sigma chapter located in Germantown, Tennessee, a suburb of Memphis. We are preparing for the Southeast Regional Conference. So anybody on this live who's a member of Sigma Gamma Rho and you will be at regional conference, please look for me. I might be making some appearances here and there, just kind of look for me. I would love to meet you. My daughter is a rosebud because, you know, the Bible says train a child up in the way that they should go, and they will not depart from those ways when they are older. It was instilled in me. Doris Thomas Hill said, hey, you know what you're going to college for, and don't be looking at no other colors because you're going to have to find somewhere else to live. My daughter knows that. But just, yeah, like Sim Gamero, I am active in our local chapter, and of course my daughter is a rosebud, but it's just the work of the founders that I do every day. The work of the founders that I do every day. I'm married to a man of Omega Psi Phi. Shout out Dr. Brandon Slaughter. He wants to bark. Please.
That's what I was waiting for. I thought it was coming. I thought
y'all.
you were here to bark.
And so his legacy, you know, he has a great work ahead of him. So I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. This has been fun. I don't know why I was super nervous, but I was super nervous nevertheless. So thank you for this great opportunity and all of your support and encouragement. We didn't talk anything about you, but you have built a team that works really hard to support us, encourage us, give us feedback. You are giving us feedback. I looked at something the other day and I was like, this lady was up at 3:00 in the morning. Why, Jesus? Why was she up? But like we could not have done it without you and Sheena and I'm terrible with names.
Okay, Martina.
Like we could not be successful. And that's what I like. I'm big picture. I'm visionary. You take me to some details. I don't know what you're talking about, but y'all gave us the details. Like, on this day you're gonna do this. On this day you're gonna do this, and then you're in the chat, and we have a great group. Shout out to my co-authors, giving each other feedback, doing live together. That has been so fun and so amazing. This you built something with this project, and so thank you for your vision and obeying the call to do this.
Well, thank you so much. That is greatly appreciated, and it warms my heart. Before we go, please let the people know how they can contact you and get in touch with you and work with you. What are your contacts?
You can find me on all social media platforms at Eve Slaughter on IG and TikTok, on Facebook at Eve Brownlee. You can also reach me at espnacademy.com, www.espnacademy.com. That's the nonprofit's website. I'm also on LinkedIn, Evidane Slaughter on LinkedIn. And my cousin on Easter Sunday taught me how to put my link tree in my IG bio. So I'll be adding that there. But I'm on all social media. Facebook. No, I'm not on Snapchat, but Facebook, TikTok, IG, LinkedIn, X, which is formerly Twitter. Yeah.
Awesome. So make sure you contact her. Make sure you buy her book. It is up there above me, presale.evebslaughter.com. So make sure you reach out to her. I want to thank everyone for being on the live. If you are live with us, hit a 1 in the comments. If you are watching this replay, hit a 2, and make sure you leave a fire emoji because this young lady is on fire. So make sure you give her a shout out in the comments below. I want to thank you guys again. Don't worry, we have more interviews coming up. So make sure you guys are tuning in. Make sure you get the book. Make sure you guys are supporting. Even a share, a simple share of the button is all we ask, right? Sharing is free. So even share what we're doing so that we can touch more lives. So have an amazing evening, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.